Oh, right. That was the Lumineers there. I forgot I had them on. Actually, listen to those. Been listening to them quite a bit lately. It's pretty illuminating, honestly. Pretty funny. I'm really kind of going to try to do this little hat dance here so you understand a little bit who I am, where I come from, and maybe what I've done with my life, and portions of it, or whatever. Anyway, but I grew up as a small town in Ohio. I'm very just fortunate to be here. I'm adopted. I was adopted by a great couple, great family, raised with salt of the earth type people. Taught right from wrong. Grew up Roman Catholic, was an altar boy till right before I graduated high school. I was actually a Catholic lay reader on board a nuclear-powered submarine. Anyway, yeah. Played sports when I was in school, just was never good enough. But grew up in Ohio. From there, after I graduated high school, I joined the United States Navy right out of high school. More or less because, a wise man once told me, my grandfather, if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. And there's always going to be government. So if you can time it and serve in the military and not get killed after 20 years, you deserve the rest of your life to do whatever the hell you want. And he showed me how to grow my own food, man, which is wonderful. It was really goes so in line with a lot of things that I learned later in life. My grandfather was probably the first survivalist back in the day. But I served 20 years in the Navy. I was a navigation electronics technician, retired chief petty officer on a nuclear-powered submarine. Did some cool stuff. Worked with some very honorable people. During that time frame in the Navy too, I also did 2 tours of recruiting. And then my last 2 years, I supervised the transition division in Groton, Connecticut, where managed between 150 and 300 people depending on the week. I replaced a master chief, which was an E9, and just went in with an open mind and told the folks we're here at point A, we're trying to get to point B, and what can we do? What can I do to get you there? I don't care how we got here. It's just a matter of where you're going to be, whether it be home, whether it be another surface Navy, whether it be another submarine, or whether it be honestly, some guys were very ill and just, yeah. It had its ups and its downs. There was never a dull moment, but the key to my success there was actually giving the guys that deserved it the ownership so that they could run it. It was their ship, we had the ship, and we just had to do it together, and we all, as long as it met certain standards, it was really kind of their show, and it was honestly one of the better life learning tools than I ever had, because all I had, life's about exchanging value, and all I had was manpower of others. And the exchange there to keep things moving during downturns or cuts and everything was what it was, Since then, after I retired from the Navy, I worked as an electronic warfare instructor for the Army and also a intelligence support analyst, I guess you would say. As a trainer, an instructor, and all I did was try to get kids to use common sense, but teaching them about the tools around them so they could understand, understand, and overstand the position that they were being put in, so that they understood, comprehended, to give them the best chance of survivability, so they can go over there, do their jobs, come back, drink beer, make babies. That was actually my goal for them. Well, anyway, the last couple days I've been really thinking word associations. Funny. I mean, it's no. Decarlosdanger got in trouble with his wiener. Decarlosdanger, where everybody can laugh at a little wiener joke. All right? Well, anyway, during those times when I was working as a contractor for the Army, I had traveled all over Asia, you see, in the Navy. Beautiful places, beautiful people, peaceful places, tranquil islands. It's really something for the eye to see and behold. It would be really interesting to do that again, or you have to move there. The visiting part gets old. I mean, you already established that most people don't leave their little regions of the world for their lifetime. The car changed that a little bit, but we're very feudal, just like the folks that were supposed to be fighting and nation building. And until you actually could see that, kind of going to be lost. But we've been watching. I have to make some decisions really soon, and it's not that I'm afraid of making a decision. I just want to be as close to making the right one as possible. A lot of times I overthink it instead of just letting it happen. I'm in that overthinking part right now. You can't tell. Just trying to best line up a mission with a vision that I can see and I could respect and I can communicate to us so that we can benefit. We are overburdened. We are repeating the same steps we made in history. We can be directly compared to all the different wars that have been going on forever in Europe up until World War II. Then they stopped fighting them amongst themselves and we started fighting everybody for them because it's a business. We need to recognize that. We need to determine if we want to continue to send our sons and daughters to Afghanistan and to Iraq and overseas to these different locations to start these proxy wars. Because they're not wars. They're not constitutional wars. No declaration of war has been signed by Congress. No declaration of war. Because you know why it's so important? Is because if there is a formal declaration of war, then you can hold your Congress member, your congressperson, for me, my Congress lady, Martha McSally, retired colonel, accountable for their actions. Because they are out sacrificing the young, our best and brightest, so that you can have $2 a gallon gasoline. And all the other opportunities that come from that. You need to remember, not need to remember, we communicating to you that the Navy's mission was to keep the shipping lanes open and to protect our nation's power abroad is very, very important, because at one time, the shipping lanes was how we funded this whole federal government thing. No kidding. Now, we did that for a very, very, very long time. If we went back to doing that now, a lot of people would lose their jobs. But they would bring a lot of expertise to the local level, especially on how to manipulate people. That's what government does, you see. It goes through and explores you, finds your weakness, and exploits it. Or at least that's what submariners do. Because folks did it to us to make sure that we didn't break and we had honor and we continued to do our job properly. The missus says howdy, everybody. But it's time to think broad here. Broad. Paradigm shift. World is upside down. World is upside down. The world is definitely upside down. But why? How did it get that way? Is it that I just see things differently than everybody else? Well, I don't really think so. I know my life experience is very, very unique, and a very small portion of the population could ever imagine the crap that we go through, stuff that we do. It's very interesting to see how one will allow themselves to be manipulated or actually enslaved. We used to have prison uniforms. They changed that to make them camouflage. There's some tradition in there. Everything and all the tradition really comes from the U.S. Navy tradition comes from the British. So you can do a lot of direct links there. The mockery and the keys to the kingdom and the ability to actually be free from government by enslaving yourself to it. Yeah. As long as you did your job and did your work, nobody really gave a crap. That's the thing. How do you get everybody to do that at one time? How do you get everybody to do that together? How do you get everybody to pull it all so that there's success? Getting departments to work together. Divisions within the department to work together. Getting the department within the ship to work together. Getting it all to work like one machine. If you empower your folks and let them know what the mission is, and you have a vision, collective vision, and everything that you do every day is toward that, because that is what the military does. I mean, how many different ways can you make up that says, I need to perfect how to break things and kill people in a more perfect way? You get really efficient at it. Because that is the end result of all this. No matter what you're doing, whether you're a clerk or whatever, you're still participating. I get it. I don't know. I'm just full of peace and love right now, and I want everybody to be happy, and I want everybody to succeed. And I don't know if I can help you or not, but it's Michael DeCarlo for decarlosdanger.com. Signing off.